What's up guys, and welcome back to Retro Gamer Gen X's Retro Gaming and Computing channel. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out this. This is the Atari CX78 Plus Gamepad, the wireless gamepad. So what we're going to do is go ahead and unbox this and see what comes in the package. Then we'll go ahead and connect it to some Atari systems like the 2600, the 7800, and the 8-bit computer line, just to see how it works with those. And then we're going to go ahead and try some different systems like the Commodore 64, the Amiga, the Sega Master System, possibly even like the Coleco to see if it works with those. Then once we're done with all that and kind of give a review on how the button throw is, the connectivity, all that kind of stuff, then what we'll do is put it over here on the bench, and then we'll go ahead and take it apart and see how this thing is constructed and if it's actually worth the $39 that you guys are paying for this. So we're going to check out what kind of chips it has in it, how well the solder joints are, and just the general construction of this as well. So without any further ado guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the Atari CX78 Plus Wireless Gamepad. Okay guys, so here is the CX78 Wireless Gamepad box as we got here. Now I have not opened this thing yet, so let's go ahead and open this. But before we do, let's go ahead and just take a look at the box. So it kind of has that classic Atari look to it, like you would see back in probably like the mid 1980s with the silver and all that kind of stuff. It kind of goes along with the whole Atari 7800 theme, so definitely kind of cool. In the back here it says, "Taste the freedom of untethered retro gaming. No more tangled cords to limit your high scores or trip up your furry friends. Includes wireless USB and classic DB9 adapters for play across consoles." It says here that it's compatible with the 2600 Plus and the 2600, the 7800 Plus and the 7800, and then it's a USB-A device, so you can connect it to your computer to play with like emulators and other things like that as well. So pretty cool guys. I mean, definitely looks like, you know, classic box, like old school classic Atari. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and see what's inside here. So first of all, it looks like we have a USB, what is this? USB-C to USB-A cable to charge it. Then we have the controller itself here, which is kind of cool. Button throw feels really good. The D-pad feels good. Kind of weird to have the screw button and the screw hole in the middle of it, but I'm sure you people in Europe that actually had this game controller are pretty used to it. So pretty cool there. What else do we got in the box? So we have kind of a real cheap instruction card just telling you that how to charge it and all that kind of stuff. And last but not least, we have a little zippy bag here with the two USB, or not USB, but the two dongles. One being USB for your computer, and then the other being the DB9 connector for the classic games. And then also it comes with the joypad stick. There we go. I didn't want to cross-thread it because it's plastic on metal. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I might actually like that. But the throw might be pretty intense. I don't know. We'll have to see, guys. But as you guys can see here, we already got it lighting up, so it does come charged. I don't know how charged, but it does come charged a little bit. We have the power light here. We have the USB-C connection to charge it. We have this sync LED, and then we have this sync button. So basically it says insert the DB9 or USB dongle into the controller port or USB socket. The white LED light with the dongle will flash, so there'll be a light on here that'll flash. Looks like they're like right here and right here. And then press and hold the sync button for 3 seconds on the Atari wireless controller to connect it to the dongle. And once paired, looks like the white LED will be fully eliminated and you should have control. So pretty cool, guys. Well, let's go ahead and throw this onto the Atari 7800 here. I've got Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest all set up and ready to go. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. So we're going to go ahead and plug this dongle here into that 7800. Now let's go ahead and power it up and see what it does. And then all you do is just hit the sync button here at the top. Until it turns solid. And then it connects. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest. Alright guys, so we're going to check out Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest. Pretty cool game. Definitely check it out if you have it. You can buy it from the Atari store. Yeah, I really dig this game. And one thing I gotta say is just check the setup, because if you're using one of these joypads, you have to switch your difficulty buttons in the front to basically make it work right. And you can change your button configuration, so you can make either this throw and run, or you can make this throw and run instead. So pretty cool how you can configure that within the game. But yeah, this joystick's working really good, or this joypad, should I say. But yeah, working pretty good. I do have one complaint though, is the button layout. And I know they tried to stay true to the original design, but at the same time, they could have improved on it, because there's such a stretch to try to get over to this button here, like when you're trying to run and jump. Instead of slipping up like this, like you would on a Nintendo or something, they should have put the button up here. But I guess they wanted to stay true to the original design. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and see what are the systems that this controller will work with.
Oh, you guys are still here. Well, if you guys like the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe, that like, and that notification bell. That way you guys get notifications every time I drop new content like this. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get back to this game. Why don't you guys get back to the video here?
So let's go ahead and try it on the Atari 2600 next and see how it works. Go ahead and plug it in here. Go ahead and power it on. And let's see. So here's the controller. It just auto connected. So yeah, looks like it works just fine, guys. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh yeah, I'm loving this controller, guys. This is a great controller here. The button throw is great. I mean, for an Atari 2600 controller, even though this is a 7800 controller, this is great. This is wow. So much control. There's no lag. It's perfect, guys. Perfect. Well, let's go ahead and try it on an Atari 8-bit and see how it works. So now let's go ahead and hook it up to the Atari XEGS here. See if it even fits in this system. Ooh, man, talk about a tight fit, guys. That did work, but as you can see, let me pull it around here. That is a very, very freaking tight fit. Barely works. Man, this thing is dusty. This is on the very bottom shelf, though, so. All right, guys, let's see if this one works. And we'll go ahead and turn it on. And yep, works right away. Awesome. We'll do some river raid action. So let's see how this controller works with this system. Honestly, not bad, guys. This is one of those games that are pretty touchy with controls. And I gotta say, it is kind of touchy being a D-pad. Obviously, they made this game with joysticks in mind and not D-pads, but yeah, it works pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty good. Go ahead and try this on some Commodore systems and see if it actually works on Commodores, which I'm pretty sure it will. Pretty much the same pinout, so I don't see why it wouldn't. But let's give it a shot and see.
Now let's go ahead and test it out on the Amiga 2000. First, let me go ahead and plug it in here. This is going to be a little hard here just because of the way it is. Let me see here. Not much room. You got to fit it inside this hole that the joystick ports in. Oh, there we go. Got that in. So let's go ahead and turn it on here. And I think we got another world loading up. I think that's what I got booted. Yep. So, and it looks like it's synced. So, yeah, looks like it's going to work for us. So this is a really cool game. If you guys haven't seen this, you definitely need to check this one out. Let's see if the joystick is working. Yep, of course it is. So, this is just a crack here, guys. So you can put whatever symbols you want in, and it'll load up the game. So yeah, really cool. Well, let's see what it does here. It looks like it's working just fine here, guys. I got all controls, all directions. Seems like the button throw, everything seems just fine. So yeah, I'm not going to complain. Really looks pretty good. Well, I think we should go ahead and go on to the next system here. Let's see. So I got the Commodore 64, and I got it right over here to the left, so you guys can see. So I'm just going to leave the camera angle the same. We're just going to plug it into the Commodore 64 right here and go from there.
So let's go ahead and try the Commodore 64 now. So let me go ahead and get this plugged into it. Simple as that. Go ahead and turn it on. And we'll go ahead and quickly load something up. Probably one of my favorite games. We'll do Choplifter. All right, and as you guys can see, it's flashing over here. So let's go ahead and see if we can get connected. Connects right up. Perfect. And seems like it's working. No problem. And let's see how it works with this game. This is definitely one of my favorite versions of Choplifter. Yeah, it seems to be working pretty good, guys. Like I said, button throw and joypad, everything just seems pretty good on this joypad, man. It's kind of a pleasure. And seeing that it works with so many different systems and it's wireless, guys. I mean, that is freaking amazing. It's cool. I like it. Now, I do have another wireless controller that does work with all these different systems, and that's that Commodore 2000 or whatever I have. But honestly, I've been having some issues with the connectivity of that. I mean, I can be less than like 2 feet away from the game system and I'll lose connectivity even with brand new batteries. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But yeah, there you guys go. So works pretty good with the Commodore 64 over here too. This is, obviously the Commodore 64. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and try a couple different systems. Now, these two, I'm not too sure if it's going to work with, but let's give it a shot.
So next up is going to be the Sega Master System here. So let me get this thing plugged in. And yeah, it'll fit, no problem. And get it turned on. And yep, just like I thought, guys, it's not even powering the dongle up, as you can see here. So, and the reason for that is that pin 7 on this doesn't supply 5 volts. It's for the actual light gun signal. So that's why it doesn't power this thing up. So it's not going to work. But let's go ahead and check out the Colecovision and see if it'll work on that. So next up is going to be the Coleco. Let me go ahead and try to get this thing plugged into it here.
And honestly, guys, boy, that is a super duper tight fit, and I don't feel confident that it's going to make connection. Yeah, the control where the joystick plugs in is actually smaller than this, the actual case, and yeah, there's like a little hole that, you know, if you have a ColecoVision, you know what I'm talking about. From where you guys are sitting, you can't really see, but it's just not going to fit inside of this hole and make contact with the pin. So, yep, so it's not going to work with the ColecoVision, and in fact, I don't think the pinout would have worked anyway with the ColecoVision because there's not 5 volts supplied to pin 7. So let's go ahead and try the C64 Maxi here and see if this game controller will work with it.
We're just going to go ahead and plug it into one of the USB ports here. I could put it in the right direction.
All right, let's go ahead and power it up. And see how this thing might work for us. Now I can see the light is flashing on the bottom of that. We're definitely going to have to do a sync because it's synced to the actual other dongle. So let's go ahead and do the sync here. Push the button in. Let go. And now it should be synced to this. And I do see that that's a solid light. I can kind of barely see the reflection off my cheap wood desk there. But let's go ahead and pick just something to play real quick. Now I have my other joystick plugged in so I can pick the games and other stuff here. Honestly, we should be able to... Nope, it's not working. It might not work with this.
So unfortunately, guys, it doesn't look like that this joypad here works with the C64 Maxi. As you guys can see, I have absolutely no control over it. And yeah, it's connected, it's synced. And if I pick up this joystick, it shows that it's not on the wrong port. And I could switch ports and then it'll work on this joystick. But it still won't on this down here. So yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to work with this at all, unfortunately. So basically, it doesn't work with the Coleco, the Sega Master System, and the Sega Genesis, which I'm not even going to try because I know it won't work. It won't work on this either, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping it would, so that's kind of a bummer. But the next thing we're going to go ahead and do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and test the connectivity and how far of a distance that this thing will go. It says 30 feet. Let's test it out. All right, guys. So I got everything hooked back up to the 7800 here, and I got the joypad all connected, and we're good to go. I also have this like homebrew Mario Zelda thing loaded up on the 7800. It doesn't do anything. There's no enemies. I guess it was just a test bed for this homebrewer to see if he could make the graphics and make it walk or whatever. I don't know. But Zelda on a Mario background makes for a pretty good test bed for this. So like I said, we're going to test the connectivity to the controller and see how far it will go throughout the house. So let's go ahead and give it a shot, guys.
Alright guys, I don't know if you guys see me, I hope you can, but I am hitting the controls now. We are down the hallway, into our bedroom, into the master bedroom there. So, is it working? Is it moving? We'll see. Alright guys, so hopefully you guys can see me here. We are at the downstairs at the front door area. So is it moving? Hopefully it's still working. It looks like it's still synced. So let's go ahead and go a little bit further into the house. Alright guys, so we're downstairs in the kitchen. Basically on the first floor of the house. And it looks like it's still synced. It looks like it's still working. Let's go a little bit further into the house. Alright guys, so hopefully you can see me down here as well. The main machine is making a cameo appearance. We're down in the garage about the gear furniture. So it looks like it's still synced. So we're still on the first floor, but probably getting close to about 30 feet away that this thing says it has connection. So the next thing we're going to do is go down to the third floor down in the basement, and I'm going to go into the very far back, unfinished room where we call our storage trap. And if it gets connection down there, I'm going to be really surprised. Alright guys, we're down here in the basement, and that room I was telling you about. We're at the third floor, so we're 3 floors down to the concrete, electricity, everything else. And it looks like it's still connected. Is it still working, guys? Because that would be pretty amazing. We are definitely well past the 30 feet zone that this thing is saying that it'll reach. So if you have like a huge area, like across the football stadium, this thing is probably work for you. That's pretty cool. I'm going to go upstairs and check it out. Uh-oh. It was like it lost sync there for a minute. So we might be right at the edge. I don't know. I'll have to go check out the camera footage and see you guys. Alright, next up guys, we're going to go ahead and take this thing apart and see how it's constructed. So it looks like just 6 screws hold the thing together. Let's go ahead and take it apart. And I'm just going to want to see what kind of chips are inside this thing and what makes it tick. I'm assuming it's got some kind of radio chip that goes to the antenna. And it probably works off of some kind of radio frequency. Almost positive this isn't like Bluetooth or anything. All right, now that we got the screws out, go ahead and pop it apart. And there we go, guys. Wow. That's pretty much it. So it looks like the battery's up underneath here. And we have the D-pad. With the contacts here. I'm not going to lift up because it looks like it's glued into the center. We have little buttons here. Pretty cool. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, guys, let's go ahead and get this underneath the scope and see these chips and kind of see the solder joints close up and see how well this thing is constructed. So now we got this thing under my scope here, guys. So as you can see, this first chip that we're looking at right here, I don't know if you guys can see that number there. It's a XN297L6W. But basically what this is a RF chip. Right next to it's the clock frequency generator. So what this does is it's basically your RF. This is your radio signal. As you can see, it goes through some capacitors and an inductor and goes to the antenna here. And kind of funny, let me grab some real quick. Looks like there might be a little bit of manufacturing damage here to the antenna. If you look, I don't think that is that's not dust or anything. That's not anything like that. Lint. Looks like it got scratched during manufacturing somehow.
but it doesn't seem to affect its performance in any shape or form. So pretty cool. So if we go a little bit further on, this is probably where the battery connects, and they left some flux residue there. And here is where the brains of the whole operation is. So this is the, looks like Mega Win microcontroller. And yeah, this basically controls everything. It controls sending the radio frequency, the button presses, it controls the LED lights, and just all the different functions when it syncs to the dongle and just things like that. So pretty cool. So basically like a little computer on a chip is what this is. It's got its own RAM, its own everything probably. So if we go a little bit further along, we'll see here that the this is the 4560, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is a like a battery charging control chip. So it prevents your battery from like overcharging and just takes control of the whole battery charging operations and lets you know when it's decharging and things like that. It'll tell the microcontroller chip down here when it's time to let you know, hey, flash that LED because I'm getting low on battery. And then over here, that 7130, so that's probably a voltage regulator, 3-volt voltage regulator. So it's probably like 5 volts or something coming in through the battery, and it goes to this voltage regulator and goes down to 3 volts. So yeah, guys, let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit further though, and take a look at like the solder joints on like the USB port, because that's always the biggest failure on this type of thing. And as you guys can see here, they look pretty decent. I mean, they could have put a little bit more solder on them, but all in all, they're pretty solid. And since I have the battery still connected to this, I'm not going to try to test it, because usually I would test solder joints with like tweezers to see if they're solid. But yeah, since there's still power running through this board potentially, with the battery being connected, we are not going to do that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put this thing together. And then let's go ahead and do the conclusion of the video, where I basically give my thoughts and opinions about this controller here.
Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of the video today, and all I gotta say is that this controller is just amazing. If you're an Atari fan or a Commodore fan or any kind of retro gaming fan, this is definitely going to be the controller for you. I mean, like I said, the button throw, there's no lag. There's nothing that I can complain about with this controller, except for maybe this thing, the stupid little thumbstick thing. At the beginning of the video, I put this in the controller, but shortly thereafter, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the feel of it. It just made the button throw on the D-pad just a little too intense. It was just too crazy. So I took it off, and it just made it so much better. This rates right up there with the NES D-pad. Just an amazing product. Love it. And the fact that you could literally play this like across a football stadium on a big screen like Jumbotron. I mean, that would be kind of cool. Just think about it. You could probably do that with this controller. Just an amazing product. Atari put out something really, really cool. The build quality is great. This is going to be a product that lasts you as long as the battery lasts in this thing, which I'm pretty sure it could probably be really easy to replace. Looks like you just have to desolder the wire and resolder the wire back on from the new battery. So nothing too bad there. But yeah, I have not charged this thing since I got it, and literally, guys, it has been a week I have been recording this video. This shirt I have washed 3 times during the course of this week just to wear during this video. So kind of crazy to think that I've played it that long on the original charge that came from the factory, and it's still not even complaining that it's dead yet. Definitely recommend this. Atari did a great job. But with all that being said, guys, if you like the content, don't forget to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell. That way you get notifications every time I drop new content like this. And if you want to help support the channel, don't forget to hit that super down below. Leave me a comment. Anything that does go towards the channel goes directly into the channel to provide videos just like this. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have a great one. Peace out, y'all.
Game over, man. It's game over.